over back here. As far as I see, the map draft is already done. And we are going to Infernal Shrines.
Yeah, absolutely. So Infernal Shrines now, second time we'll be casting this one. Casting this map today anyway. Obviously it is the lounge favourite outside of Division 1. I think every single division is the most played map in every division apart from Div 1 usually. I think Div 2 actually this season as well. I think Div 2 this season played Volskaya I think the most as well.
Never
So
see
we're
this. I
just
personally
waiting
really
for our
enjoy
lobby.
this map as well.
So yeah, it looks like lobby is up and ready. So we'll have to wait for both teams to make sure they're ready as well for them. But guys, looking at these two teams, we have this team Super Kulaks against Semi-Croustillants. Now, this is a Division 4 team going up against another Division 4 team. Now, Team Super Kulaks did finish second in the division, just behind Hands Up. Oh, well, actually, they joined with Hands Up in that sense.
I think with 8 wins in those 10 games, as far as I remember.
Yeah, and they have not played against each other in the regular season. So again, two teams going up against each other from the same division that haven't played each other in the regular season. So nice little matchup we have on our hands again. And also, this is a sort of reverse at the moment from yesterday. So yesterday we saw Division 7 teams sort of taking the wins and representing the rear cup, but today it looks like the top of division, the higher division, Division 4, is representing the Epic Cup. I don't know how many Division 5 there are left in. I don't think there are any Division 5 teams left now.
I'm not even sure if there's one. I don't think there's one left, by the way, from Division 5.
So it's all Division 4 to play for.
I mean, on the side of the Rare Cup, we usually see the Division 6 and 7 being closer together a lot more. And then also the only cup where you really see a team from the lower division improving so much over the season that they're even better than the teams from one division above them. It's really interesting to see how it is going to go out here today.
I lie. Team Super Kulaks did play Semi-Croustillants, and TSK did win that 2-0. I can't read it. It was their first match of the season or their last match of the season?
The last match.
Last match of the season, yeah. Played on the 30th of June. So we'll have to see. I'm sure Semi-Croustillants will want it. And they'll be out for blood.
No, we're gonna not cancel Aviator.
Wait, what? Who's gonna cancel me? Black Milk, how rude. I see you there. But guys, yeah, this will be a good match there, Sammy, between these two teams.
I mean, it's gonna be a revenge show. We're gonna see if the Semi-Croustillants will be able to get their revenge in or not. This one going to be very interesting. And the other side, on Channel 2, I believe Channel 2 is going to be the hotter game right now, with Hands Up against the All Exterminators, as they're both really scary teams. And I would honestly expect, like, my 4 favorites for this cup are Encore, Transient Spot Buddies, Hands Up, and the All Exterminators. It's going to be very interesting who's going to win there. But there's always destined to be the underdog story, and we're going to see if this might be the Super Kulaks or the Semi-Croustillants coming in and surprising every one of us and taking the win in the end.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the winner of, I predicted it from the beginning. I said if Johnny Sins come to a good start, they can make it through to the final, looking at the top half. And the bottom half, I think the winner of match 4, which is going on right now in Heroes Lounge 2, could potentially make the final as well. Yeah, I think those two teams would make a brilliant final, either winner of those two. So, yeah, but we can't count any of the teams out, and TSK and Semi-Croustillants will try and fight it back and prove us wrong here.
Let's see, we still miss one player in the lobby from the looks of it. Looks like it. Yeah, we should be able to start this game soon, hopefully.
Yeah, just waiting on both teams to be ready, so just bear with us, guys.
Looking at the Super Kulaks, looking at their most picked heroes this season, we see Urel at the very top of it, which is not a real big surprise. When you look at the best players right now, they usually even tend to ban out Urel if she's not getting first picked. It's a really strong pick, even with an 84% win rate, looking pretty strong, so this might be something you consider to ban out against the Super Kulaks. But then also on the second spot, we see Li Ming and Sylvanas coming in a lot, and then on the fourth, even the Xul. So going into those wave clear heroes a lot, besides Li Ming, which is very strong in team fight. But I'm probably not gonna see Li Ming on Infernal Shrines. Would be very interesting.
Yeah, normally you only see if you're like a one trick or something like that for one of those types of heroes. But yeah, Urel absolutely dominating sort of higher ranks in coordinated, as you say. She's banned out or first picked usually, and they've got an 85% win rate on the hero as well across 13 games. So they really like her playstyle, I assume. Obviously, you don't tend to see her too much on double soaking maps, but she is still. She can still double soak effectively as well. So
I personally, as a solo lane main, recently leading master, I played 2 Stormlight games today. I played 2 times Urel. I won 2 games, so what a surprise. But yeah, Urel really strong in terms of double soaking. I personally believe she even wins against Lyric or something on Towers of Doom, just because with the Divine Steed and the Hand of Freedom on level 4, her mobility is so big that she can interrupt the opponent's rotation and is very fast herself still in terms of rotating. So against the Lyric, you just knock him, you DW and just knock him away, delay his rotation after he's being mounted, and you just Divine Steed towards the lane, clear the wave, and then you're able to delay him again before he even hits the wave.
Yeah, I completely agree. She's just just extremely oppressive to play into. But guys, it looks like we've got both teams ready, teams in the lobby, so we'll hopefully be going into this this quarterfinal very soon. But yeah, there's not many overlaps of picks between these two teams. Deca Kane is one of the few heroes that both teams seem to like playing, so that'll probably be contested or picked out. Sylvanas seems to be the flavour for TSK. They picked it 11 times and 80% win rate. It's been banned out against them in the regular season 9 times. But the most highest hero banned out against TSK has been the Maiev. 13 bans against them. They've only played it 6 times, but obviously not a lot of people like playing into their Maiev.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a very good Maiev player, it is really scary, because the Maiev can just 1v5 in team fights. So she's a really scary hero to play against. Then we also see Anna with the same amount of bans, which is kind of more understandable. When you play a lot of Ming, you might pick Ming early and then just removing the Anna to make sure the opponents do not get Nano Boost Ming. But then also the Garrosh coming in with a lot of bans, which is quite interesting, because Garrosh is one of those tanks. Either he just wins the team fight and is just very dominant in the front line, or he just goes down like butter. Melts like ice cream in the sun. Yeah, on the other side, we see the Semi-Croustillants with the most played hero is actually the Reyna. Kind of fall off a little bit after the nerfs to Exterminator, but then also, as you mentioned, the deck card on the second place, and then on third place is a tank with the sides of ETC, and then Sonya coming in, which is very interesting on Shrines, because it's one of her better maps, because those spins on the Shrine are pretty damn scary.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And yeah, we'll have to see how the teams react to this, but it looks like teams are almost ready to go. So we're just waiting on the moderators okay, so we can go.
Also, when we look at the bans against teams, we see on the side of the Semi-Croustillants, we see also a lot of bans of Anna against them, which is quite interesting, and then a lot of bans of Xul against them. Really not having this only one trick, with, for example, the Maiev on the other side. More having a bigger variety of bans against them is very good to see, because this means they're generally very flexible in the draft. So we might even see something on the lines of weird picks coming in, or just some boring standard draft coming out. depending on the first game, we might even see a very, very weird draft in the second game. But we are going to go into game number 1, Infernal Shrines, as you hear already in the background.
So game 1 between these two Division 4 teams. It's TSK up against Semi-Croustillants. What we're going to ban? Are we going to see the URL targeted out? Are we going to see a Maiev ban? I feel like they're going to have to address the Maiev though. If maybe they're comfortable playing against it though, but as you said earlier, you know, if she gets a big tether off, it can feel disastrous in a team fight. But it's going to be the Reina first ban for TSK. Obviously, it is Semi-Croustillants' most picked hero, picked 13 times, win rate of 70%.
Now we have, yeah, there we go, the Maiev, as you mentioned. Very strong pick apparently from the Team Super Kulaks. Immediately getting banned out by Semi-Croustillants. There we go as well with the Ana again. Very highly banned hero from both teams and against both teams.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday I didn't see any Ana bans or Ana picks, but sort of as you go up the divisions, you're going to see more and more Ana picks coming out. But we do see Mei being banned out. Obviously, she is playable in the playoffs at the moment, just without Avalanche.
Yeah, even the level 20 bug got fixed, so quite interesting to see her being removed. I feel like she's not that strong of a tank, especially if you don't really feel comfortable on her. But we see the Tasada as the first pick from Team Super Kulaks, who is very strong. I still feel like his numbers are a little bit overtuned. He's still dealing a bit too much damage. He's getting picked up now, and also his Qs on around the shrine are very strong to make sure they get the clear onto it.
Yeah, I agree. But there we see Urel and Johanna, so they do get the. But it's actually taken away from TSK.
Yeah, I like this Dinara pick coming in early on. Also pairing up with the Johanna, which doesn't care too much against the Tasada and Stukov so far, because she is unstoppable, so she can easily walk in. She also provides some good wave clear for her own team. But now Team Super Kulaks picking up the Stukov and the Sylvanas.
Yeah, picking up the Sylvanas, which is we mentioned it earlier on that you know it's their favoured DPS pick. It's 11 picks with an 80% win rate, and it has been banned out against them 9 times. And it's also very, very good on this map as well.
Here we go with the betting copy of who will win the next game. So who do you think will win the next game? Exclamation mark bet A for TSK, Team Super Kulaks to the left. And the number of points you want to bet on them. If you think Tasada, Stukov, Sylvanas are a good opening for them. Or exclamation mark bet B if you think Semi-Croustillants will be able to come into this game with Johanna and Urel early on. And we also see the Deckard ban coming out, as you mentioned before, when the one healer preferred by both teams to be played a lot. Getting removed now. So Team Super Kulaks picking up their own support.
Yeah, but what we're going to get in for them, is it going to be... It's going to be Alex Straza. Okay. So you don't typically see Alex Straza much anymore, and outside, I suppose this is probably one of her better maps. Obviously, you do get the Dragon Queen, similar to the sort of the old strat of Ragnaros when he was popular in the meta, where you want to get to about 15, 20 Shrine Guardians, and then you pop your Dragon, or in that case, Molten Core, and you know, it secures you the Shine for that.
Also with the Vala, with maybe W Bolt coming in this time, making sure you have the AoE damage to make sure you get those Shine minions when you fight around them. But on the other side, Team Super Kulaks now picking up the last 2 heroes. Leragate's going to be, who is very strong in terms of rotation. He's not one of the heroes who can really counter Urel in any way or form, so NECC counters Urel because then she cannot jump, charge up her abilities and other stuff. But we're gonna see a stun on the side of the main tank, as they're gonna pick up the Imperius as the main tank in this game.
Yeah, Imperius had a lot of love today, recently. It's been picked up a couple of times so far. And obviously, we do see Jaina last pick for Semi-Croustillants. So, which draft has it for you, Samu? Just on draft.
And looking at both teams, we see on the left side, we see the Imperius Tasada with the Stukov. I believe if they just go for the blow-up with their team, which their team kind of wants to do, I believe they have a better draft in terms, if they execute it well. On the other side, if the Semi-Croustillants good with playing around their resources, with the Alexstrasza on their shrine, with poking it down with the Vala W, with getting Jaina burst in, trying to steal some minions. I think then they are ahead if they are managed to get those shrines.
Yeah.
Because their team is just built around those shrines and trying to get them.
I completely agree. I think for me, I think the draft around the Imperius will be deadly. You know, Imperius stun into a Stukov silence with no cleanse on the other side, no soft or hard cleanse. Entomb to follow up, Tassadar burst damage on top of it. I feel like it should delete whoever they capture as long as it's not Johanna, obviously, and she has time to press hit D.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see it in the execution. But again, betting set up for if you missed it, !Breo, bet B, as we are about to jump into this game number 1 of this best of 3 series. We're gonna start on the right side, Semi-Croustillants, Halney playing the role. If you want Monte on the Jaina, Zabiel on Vala, Lucky Quick on Alexstrasza, and last but not least, it's going to be Benny on the Johanna. And to the left side, we've got Team Super Kulaks. We have Verkman on the Imperius, Tuloendis on the Stukov, Shadow playing the Tassadar, Triceracop on the Sylvanas, and Rikos is the last one on the Lyric.
Yeah, see level 1 talents. We see Sylvanas going for Overwhelming Affliction. Yeah. But we do see Dauntless on Urel, so obviously, despite Dauntless being nerfed, it is still the go-to pick at level 1 for her.
I
so
personally
40 physical armor, not 50.
Personally feel like this is still a good talent, but now that I really love one on this pick up over, I'm going in with this spear, getting knocked in by Urel as well. He's coming very low and he is going down. First blood early on, 30 seconds into the game. From the team, which actually lost their matchup in the last time.
Yeah, we do see Globe Circle of Life from Alexstrasza coming out. So obviously when she captures the globes, she gets 25. Abundance Healing Burst creates a regeneration globe. And obviously it heals for an additional 5% of your maximum HP.
Jaina already looking at the siege camp now, going in early on with her team. And it's the strength of Johanna. Johanna can in the meantime just go bottom, soak the experience safely because she has her Unstoppable whenever she needs it. And she also has some decent wave clear. So the wave is not getting pushed in too much against her.
No, but easy camp being taken as well by the blue team. So we could see potentially the neutral camp in the bot side being fought over now.
Also we see Urel and Lyric in the mid lane right now.
Yeah, and we see Imperius constantly hovering around, just looking for that engage. You know, if you find a good spear on a squishy hero like Vala, or even Jaina pre-ice block as well, you know, it could be lethal. But with the team going up to the mid lane, we do see the blue team trying to take down this bot camp now. Johanna is going to scout it out there, but she's not going to be in time, and the camp is taken over. But the blue team are going to lose a bit of experience in mid unless they can capture it now.
Looks like they are not able to capture it right now, so it was a 50-50 trade. Get the camp, but you lose some experience. So it's neither you don't lose something, but you also don't really win something because the red decided to immediately defend it in the bottom with the Jaina.
Yeah, mid being taken up. So experience pretty even despite that one kill. Obviously it was a kill right at the beginning of the game, so it doesn't really net you any experience worth at that time. Hard camps being taken by both teams, so a bit different to the last time we cast on this game, where no one wanted to take the hard camp.
The interesting thing this time is that the shrine is on the top side, so the hard camp only gives you the map at the lane prior, so you have more vision onto where your opponent is on the lane right now.
Yeah,
whereas
but obviously it will help out pushing in. Triceracop trying to back on that Sylvanas. They want to time this camp obviously with their wave or as late as possible, just to try and make sure that that camp will beat the other camp essentially.
We also see Tassadar porting back, so they want to delay it a little bit to make sure everyone is ready to help it out a little bit. As we see in the meantime from Vala going for a W build as expected with punishment on level 4.
Yeah, so it's going to be the full multi-shot commitment at the moment. Jaina obviously going for the standard Q build, and we see Uriel with the Hand of Freedom as well, just to help out with roots and slows. Obviously that will help with the Stukov later on in the game. But we do see Benny getting slowed here on that Johanna, getting stunned out by the Imperius here. Dragon Queen being popped as well. Big heals coming out from Alex Straza, and they're turning around onto Imperius. It looks like Imperius is going to go down again as Jaina secures the kill for her team.
This means both teams are going very equally to level 7. They are about to pick it up on both sides, but this also means the Dragon Knight is out early on, so it's not a threat on the shrine anymore. You cannot tow up to 20 skeletons and then go in for the fight. With Imperial's dead, they should be able to pick up those last 15 skeletons to make sure they get the objective.
Yeah, it looks like so far Semi-Croustillants fighting in the early game here. Big Slow coming out onto Uriel, but obviously does get her level 1 proc, and she just is able to run away. Not level 1, activatable. That's what I meant. So Arcane Punisher, obviously not the greatest in the early game. Typically in the early game you do want a Frozen Punisher just to help out. But meanwhile Leoric was double soaking this experience, so it does net them a small experience lead, but Uriel's going to rotate him to top lane, so they are going to try and commit to this with 5. But meanwhile Johanna gets stunned out, the silence as well coming down on top of it, and Johanna gets taken down. Halni jumping in on that Uriel, but not able to find anything.
Red team able to take on the front wall is usually the thing you want to do right now with your first Punisher. Big stun from Imperius onto Valen. We see Swift level 7 Flash of Anger. It's just so much damage he deals. He nearly got the kill onto the Vala. It's
broken. It's like, I can't believe it wasn't. Yeah, I think if they. Yeah, anyway, it needs addressing at some point. But yeah, you land a stun and it just does so much damage to them afterwards. You know, it basically can, as you saw, almost one shot of Vala.
Ooh,
but level 10s aren't in yet. We do see the blue team going in aggressively, Sammy.
Yeah, there's the wall as well, and silence from Stukov giving Jen a really tough time. Jen dropping very low. There's the laser coming in from Cousin. He's securing the kill, and now Imperius getting the spear onto 2, but really able to follow it up on anything. And Lyric dropping quite low as well. But it's a Lyric, so it doesn't matter too much if he goes down in the end.
No, Alex will be able to heal them up, obviously, with that W build coming out, but yeah, the red team fell extremely low there, and 10s are going to be in. Despite the first objective of the game going over to the red team, the blue team opted just to send Leoric to double soak, and yeah, they're level 10 v level 9 now. Well, 9 momentarily.
But look, taking a short look onto the build of Express, it's not the standard W build we see coming from her. It's mainly W press on level 1. On level 4 she goes for Exuberance, so she gains 50 with the movement speed while she's above 75% health. And meanwhile we have a big silence coming out there from Stukov onto Benny, but he is fine because he has Alex Straza right behind him. He gets the movement speed to able to dodge skill shots from Imperius or Tassala. Typically in on his level 7 she goes for fire within, so she has a little bit more in-fight sustain, but just hitting her ease. Big silence coming out there and killing her as well from Savannah, making sure they get the kill. Also the Vala, Alex Straza and Jaina dropping very low as well in the meantime down here.
Yeah, you need to be careful. Obviously, Savannah's with that trait as well now, able to disable the wall, and they're able to get a free wall. Obviously, the next Punisher will be mid lane, so this push in the bot lane won't help them too much for the Punisher. Rather, it just opens up the game for them and nets them that experience as well that they need.
That was one thing we saw yesterday as well in the finals, especially from Savannah's coming in. Just using this trait and getting some siege damage into those walls, aiding it gets up over time and gets you those walls very well. Then it gives you the very big siege advantage compared to your opponent. I think I have to say, I really like what those teams are doing with it. They just use the Savannah trait and push in those walls a little bit from time to time, getting some damage in.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, hard camp's been taken again by both teams. So both teams on point with the camp control at the moment. But level 13 is almost in here for TSK. And that's the issue. Unless Semi-Croustillants can find and engage themselves, and they're going to struggle.
It's really scary. We have level 10s from both teams we already mentioned. One weird thing we see is Sacred Crown, which I very don't like on Euro. But he's looking for engage. Rockman uses his ultimate there, the Angelic Ornaments. But we still have 13 now. The one level lead for side of Team Super Kulák. This should give them a little bit of advantage walking onto the shrine, but they have to do it soon. Out the dragon will come in. There we go. Dragon is being popped. Savannah Ural ult coming in as well. Dragon able to secure some Shrine minions. Blast Shield coming onto Cultillants. Savannah Stringer Frost coming in as well. But there's the big swipe from Stukov disengaging them, and then they counter engage onto Jaina, onto Vala. 2 kills. Make it 3 as Ural goes down, and Jaina run the run. Extras, of course, using ultimate. Able to get out of there. Even see a pause coming in.
Yeah, the pause coming in there, 3, coming out in the chat as well. But it looks like the blue team having a little bit of lags there, unfortunately. However, you saw the bit of counter synergy with the Stukov flailing swipe coming out, knocking them all back, and then the Ring of Frost coming out as well. But it didn't matter that they didn't hit the ring. Sylvanas hits a 3-man wailing arrow, and then the damage from Archon coming out as well on top of it, and it was just deleted 3 members of the red team.
That's what I mean with, I feel like the other damage is a little bit too overbuffed right now. It's also very well played with the Stukov swipe, making sure your opponent's messing up their engage, and then going in full out when their opponents don't have any cooldowns ready to defend themselves in any way or form.
Yep. So just hoping to see. We got looks like a DC or someone left the game on the side of the blue team, so waiting for them to come back at the moment. But what do you think Semi-Croustillants need to do to come back into this game?
It's gonna be a really tough one for them to come back, but it's really hard because they lost this shrine. They kind of have to bait it over, probably lose the fort. They kind of have to soak all the experience and then try to go for a good effective fight. It's the main thing their team can do with the Vala, with the Johanna, and with the Alexstrasza. This is the only thing Alexstrasza does better compared to other supports, having this point control with the Dragon Knight, trying to get those objectives in. I don't really see them doing anything else passively good. Because yes, you have the Johanna Blast Shield. You could maybe try to get a one-shot with the Blast Shield into Rain of Vengeance and the Vala and the Jaina combo, but it's a really rough thing to get off and time it perfectly, because on the side of Imperius we see Angelic Armaments. Lyric, of course, can just easily Wraith Walk out if you mess it up a little bit. And then you're always afraid of being counter-engaged because you use all your tools to just try and go in and get the kill.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's going to be difficult to one-pop them. Obviously, Sylvanas playing cautiously at the moment. Did go for that Windrunner at 13, so gets a double E reset. Now, typically, I like this build with the Q on level 1 instead of Overwhelming Affliction, because the spell power that you get procced, obviously you get an E reset every time you E. You get a Q reset every time you E in. So it just continuously procs your spell power. I mean, that'll do extra damage for your silence, for your Ws, for the damage. It's yeah, I think for me it's just Q build, but the overwhelming affliction is quite nice for the slow, I imagine, onto something like the URL, I guess.
It also helps a lot for the Imperius and the Tassel to hit their stuff, because to slow their opponents, the easier the skill shots. Yeah, I agree. I'm personally a Sylvanas player who prefers the auto attack build a little bit. It looks like the players are back, so we might be ready and go back into the game.
Yeah, and just to keep you updated, what's happening on Heroes Lounge 2, Hands Up took the first map. So Hands Up are 1-0 up against the Owl Exterminators.
Semi-Croustillants are not ready, apparently. They might have a buyback or something like that. Because, especially because one team said they might take a while, because they have to restart the CPU.
Yep. So, yeah, obviously, as whilst we're casting this game, there is another game going on Heroes Lounge and Heroes _ Lounge 2, and that's been casted by by Dentro and Yosh, and they're casting Alex Exterminators against Hands Up. So there is that matchup as well, which people were sort of hyping up as well. I think going into the brackets, you know, when you look at the games, that was the one game that stood out from all the other bracket games so far.
I believe it's starting to be really interesting when we start into the first semifinals with Encore against the Butt Buddies, because I feel like a lot of people don't really think about Encore when we're thinking about the Division 4 teams. For me, they were always a big show because they're in for launch for such a long time, and their captain Ebbe and their one DPS players are just in a team for such a long time. They have such a good synergy already with each other, so it's really scary day as well. But yeah, we are going back into the game.
Yep, so back in with the team disconnected coming back as well. So 24 Shrine Guardians against 17. Level 13 in V12. It looks like this objective will be secured by TSK.
He left the game, and he left the game again, but it looks like he's back. The Lyric. Yeah, it looks like it. Alrighty. Objective taken now by the blue team, as you said. Team Super Kulak's not looking at the fort in the mid lane. They already opened up the wall a little bit. We should see a bait coming out soon from Janna using her Iron Skin. Yes, there we go. Not giving Pyrrhus any chance to follow up onto the Punisher stun with the spear and a possible kill afterwards. Svan is also using a trait to disable the fort to make sure they get this. So it's going to be very, very dangerous to maybe even lose the keep if they get a few kills. And there's the stun. And Tomb, spear, and good by Johanna. Vala gets 160 HP. Durrell jumping in, popping the second round. He's dropping very low as well. She falls as well. It's 2 kills for Team Super Kulaks.
Yeah, Yorick going in aggressive there, trying to look for something here. Obviously, no in team for another 30 seconds. Doesn't look like they're going to get the keep, so they get the keep wall, and they're content with that. They go back, and they want to play for level 16 now. So this is a really tough time for Semi-Croustillants to be in, because you're going to end up fighting. You're just trying to get level 13, right? For you're going to be even talent tiers, but it's going to be short-lived because 16 is going to be in as soon as you hit 13 here for the enemy team. So it's a rough one.
Bottom game is not under the way. Team Super Kulaks, they know that the next Punisher is in the bottom side, so they take this one and try to push in the bottom a little bit to make sure they will immediately pressure the keep the next time. Looks like we have another disconnect on the blue side.
This time it's not the spooky ghost. Oh no, it looks like we might be ready.
Let's see.
Looks like it was a short, it might have been like a micro disconnect, and then you panic on your team, you hear the lag call and someone immediately clicks that pause button. So no, they're not ready.
It's understandable because the play disconnect is always dangerous because the bot might just. I mean, we saw it yesterday in the finals in one game. In the second game, I believe it was, the ETC in the mid lane when they fighted around the healing camp. The power slid in and then disconnected, and ECC just casually walked out and poured it back. Meanwhile, 3 of his team died. And I was with this player later on the Discord call, and he told me that he was ready to go in and called already the mosh pit. Power slid in, called the mosh pit, and then he disconnected, and the team lost the team fight and lost the game in the end of the series. It might be, even though short disconnects are dangerous sometimes.
That sounds horrible, but it looks like the blue team is ready, so we're just waiting for confirmation from the red team before we head back into this game. Sorry for the pauses, but just bear with us, guys.
Hungarian internet things, they tell us.
Apparently so, yes. Especially if it's telecom, I've been told.
Robot Samo, wait, what? I'm sorry. Yeah, here we are back in the game. The robot being spammed, usually a thing when I switch the scene. Here we are back in the game. Level 16 picked up by the blue team. There we see the spear onto Janna. Silence underneath it, and goodbye, Johanna.
Yeah, Johanna getting absolutely shredded there. Even got the unstoppable off, but the damage from the blue team just ripped through her shield. Obviously, it's 3 level lead as well at this point in the game. So just on stats, there's a 12% extra HP, 12% extra damage. So it's yeah, it's wrecking them at the moment. But it's not over yet. Obviously, there is comeback mechanics in Heroes to the Storm. A couple of kills, and they'll shoot up in experience and even overtake the blue team at this stage. So 16v14. If they can get 16 before the next shrine is announced, it'd be really nice for them.
And it's going in there with the Windrunner. It's a double E's.
Yeah, they're opting to take their opponent's hard camp away. Actually baiting it out, though. We see Yrel going in, the spear coming out from Imperius, landing onto the Yrel. The silence from Stukov not quite on point though, but it looks like the red team are trying to fight this. The Dragon Queen being popped here, Blessed Shield goes out. Sacred Ground from Yrel coming on. Archon's being popped here, but Alex Raza goes flies to the sky, trying to keep her team alive. Vala, meanwhile, popping the Radio Destruction here onto Imperius. Imperius gets away, and it's actually Benny that goes down on the Johanna. It looks like the Entomb coming out there onto 3. The silence route on top of it from Stukov, and oh my god, it's a disaster for the red team. Vala gets taken down, so does Jaina. It looks like Alex is going to be next, and Sylvanas with her trait will be marching through this keep.
Let me all this report to Lyric. Level 20 in Tomb on level 17 with the Stuck of Silence underneath it. I love to see such combos. Because usually you see a Silence in Tomb on level 20 of Lyric. It's just being a real game changer, but here you see it again. Zukov with his Silence underneath the Tomb. Feels like level 20 has already hit them.
Yeah, buried a lot. You think Leoric? Oh, don't worry. We're fine to level 20 when Leoric gets his big power spike, but no, power it with the Stukov, and you've got buried alive from level 10 onwards. So, but yeah, that was a big entomb. Waiting for the Alexstrasza to come down. So patient with the entomb. Lands a perfect one onto Vala, Jaina, and Alexstrasza all in one entomb. That's the thing about Alexstrasza healing is you got to group up for it. So when you're all grouped up, Leoric just goes, "Thank you for making my entomb life very easy."
Because again, you're waiting in the bush. Do you think the entomb early on now? It really caught catching some Wombo training. They were taking a lot of time. Just Ring of Frost coming in as well, and good by Jaina. Silence route comes in now. Down there going in. Vala getting picked off in the meantime as well. Make it to Imperious time. It is just too broken, and he gets to Jaina.
Yeah, I mean, the silence route from Stukov there, absolutely clutch. I think Johanna was trying to hold off on using her D just to make sure she lived there, but the silence route from Stukov just absolutely perfect and nailing the Johanna there. So this is going to be a Punisher, 16 kills to 3. This is a frozen Punisher as well. So
Not
obviously
sure.
this is the better Punisher is what you want. Obviously it's
Would
you've got
kinda
Sylvanas paired
like-
with it.
Would kind of
but it
like
will,
to see Team Super Kulaks wait for it, pick it up, and get level 20 first. Right now they also have the map pressure with having a camp on every lane, rather than top lane defending the bruiser camp. It's
I think they just want to march down this lane as quickly as possible. Open up the bottom left side wall. That's exactly what they're trying to do here. No need to waste your disable ability yet from Syl. Wait till you want to dive past it as soon as it jumps over. Tomb coming out though. Anjo had the stun, the silence on Vala even, and Vala just gets absolutely shredded here.
Love.
You blink and you miss Vala.
Ow. Another spear coming from Imperious. Onto 2. King of Frost coming in, rooting Imperious to jump from Punisher going in, getting the kill onto Alexstrasza. 2 for nothing so far in favor for Team Super Kulaks.
Yeah, Sylvanas going in, disabling the keep now. It means the blue team can dive past it here. The John Cena Punisher again landing onto Urel. Punisher MVP so far in this team fight, securing 2 kills himself essentially. Or herself. Gender to be confirmed. But it looks like TSK are taking this one, Samu. As the core is falling, 80%, 70%. It doesn't look like this is climbable. The Punisher again stunning out Benny here this time. Entomb coming out, and they're all dead on the side of Semi-Croustillants.
The Team Super Kulak really showing off strengths of their team. Really able to follow up to the Punisher there. It was amazing. You just saw Punisher jumping in onto the top of the Vala. Imperious instantly throws on his Q, jumps right at her, and Stukov with the silence underneath it, making sure he's not able to wall out of any danger. And that's just a 1-second blow up from the blue team there.
Yeah, TSK looked extremely strong in that opening game. Tassadar securing 10 kills, 0 deaths, and 58,000 damage from him. So yeah, the Tassadar was definitely a good. I'll see what Team Semi-Croustillants want to do in the next game though, whether they want first pick or map pick from them.
I'm not sure, looking at the maps which are still left open. We still have left open Battlefield of Eternity, Dragonshire, Tomb of Spider Queen, House of Doom, and Volskaya Foundry, and looking at their own map record, they like to play Infernal and Tomb. So if they go for map choice, they might go for Tomb of Spider Queen. 5 picks by themselves, 6% winner. It's looking good so far. They could also go for Battlefield of Eternity. They did never pick it themselves, but it was 4 times picked against them with 100% win rate.
Yeah. Lots of things for the teams to sort of think about, etc. Team Super Kulak say John Cena MVP as well. It looks like Team Semi-Croustillants want to go for first pick, so TSK with the map pick, Samu.
Yeah, looking at their map score, they have played a lot of Volskaya Foundry. They picked it 7 times, and they have a 71% win rate. on it, so I would kind of expect them to go up into this. Else, they also played some Tomb Spider Queen, some Towers of Doom.
Yeah, and interestingly, Infernal Shrines was one of their lower win rate maps, actually, the lowest win rate map outside of Braxis. Played 7 times, only a 57% win rate. So, and that they just showed how strong they looked as well. So, we'll have to see what.
Looking on the record of Braxis, it doesn't really count because you only have one game on it, so it's very small
And it's
sample
Braxis,
size. So...
and it's Braxis as well.
And it's Braxis.
And no one likes Braxis, except Yosh. Yosh likes Braxis.
Yeah, this is all I mean. I also kind of like Braxis, but I prefer the way high tier level players plays it compared to lower tier or Storm League plays it. Because in lower tier or Storm League, you often see the one guy top lane and the 4 men in the bottom. And meanwhile, you see it in the high tier, you just see a top anchor and the bot anchor and the 3 men rotating around, trying to get kills somewhere and doing camps. But we're gonna see something else, as Braxis is of course banned by the Semi-Croustillants. I'm gonna go the Spuda Queen.
Yeah, so you mentioned the
fun of me.
So you mentioned the Volskaya Foundry, but yeah, it's going to be Tomb of the Spider Queen. 5 times they've played it, 100% win rate. So clearly they know what they're doing. And on the other side of Semi-Croustillants, they've played it 5 times themselves with a 60% win rate. So both teams seem to like this map. So we'll have to see how we get onto it.
Yeah, I mean, else it would have might been Volskaya Foundry, but Semi-Croustillants also have 5 games on Volskaya Foundry with 6% win rate, so it's both equally comfortable for them from the looks of it. But they didn't never pick it themselves; it was always picked against them, which is a very interesting statistic.
Yeah, 100% so. So, when do we see anything different in this game? Are we going to see the Urel picked up again or banned out? I don't think Urel got too much value from that side. Are they going to try and focus the Tassadar ban, who was just sort of ripping away with damage, or was it the Sylvanas that really sort of popped it off?
No, I feel like it really depends hard on Werkman, the tank from Team Super Kulaks. Now we're to look at his stats. He played Tempirus in the last game, and he was there with the setup for his team. And really provided his team with the kills. And we see it here when we look at his 3 most played heroes. We have on the number 1 spot the ECC, very strong tank setting up his team. Then number 2 Imperius, both things working very similar with the way they set up for the team, the kills. And then on the 3rd spot, it's going to be the Johanna. Might be a little bit more of a tank he falls back to if his 2 main heroes get banned out or something. And as we go into Tomb of Spider Queen, it is really a strong pick. A lot of people really highly prefer Johanna as the main tank on this map. Especially a lot of people first pick it even here.
Yeah, I mean the wave clear that it gives you, right, with the levels, just the waves that she provides, the control, the vision she can give with, without having to face check the bush, and having an unstoppable, self-unstoppable cleanse. There's no, yeah, absolutely. But it is one of Garish's best maps as well, obviously, because he likes to control the vision points. So lots of tank choices could come out here, but it doesn't look like these teams sort of favor Garish. It does seem to be ETC Johanna. That's the main pick. And obviously we did see main tank Imperius in the last game.
Main tank Imperius is one thing which just works because Imperius damage is so high that it could play Imperius with double support in the main tank position. If you go for something along the lines of a Tyrande, you have an easy one-shot potential, especially if you go for something along the lines of a Jaina and stuff. If you do this on Tomb Spider Queen, you would kind of need to have at least a wave clear mage in your format as well. I would honestly like to see the main tank Imperius coming out again. It gives you such a versatility in draft. You can play him, as we saw it earlier from the butt buddies, you can play him in the role of the melee assassin even, if you really wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're just waiting on the teams to be ready here. So it looks like we're missing one so far, guys. And yeah, like I said, there is another match going on right now on Heroes Lounge 2, so check that out. But while we wait, guys, signups are still open for Season 13 of Heroes Lounge. So make sure to sign up, !Discord will take you to the Discord, and check out the website at heroeslounge.gg. It will show you everything you need to do, all the guides are there to set up, and it's just a fun way to play Heroes of the Storm without having to run it down in Storm League.
There's also exclamation mark sign up, which brings you towards the sign up guide where you can easily read after if you have any questions. And there's on the Discord support desk any moderators always
Do you know what?
available to help you out with any problems.
I knew there was a command for it. I just couldn't remember what it was. And yesterday, I couldn't think of what it was at all. I was like, is it exclamation mark website, exclamation mark lounge? I couldn't think of it. So thank you for that, because I went the whole day yesterday without realizing. But enough about that. Let's head to the draft of game number 2.
And there we go again. No, wait, this is still the last betting. Sorry. Yeah, Team Super Kulaks won this one. So we're gonna see how it goes in Tomb of Spider Queen. I mean, Tomb of Spider Queen is in many ways very similar towards Infernal Shrines in the way you can snowball with an early objective. Double turn in as well, working very well in your favor if you get it. There we go. Ural first ban coming in Semi-Croustillants. This time not picking it away, instead banning it instantly. Also, if you sign up right now, you may win a hot Discord date with yours truly. Hat, what are you talking about?
So for all those listening for Hat, I would suggest waiting quite a while to avoid that one. Anyway, we see Reyna being banned out again, but this time it's the Tassadar ban, and of course Anna as well. So it does leave the Sylvanas open on the blue side, which will probably be prioritized in the 1-2, I imagine.
I really like Tassadar ban because he's a very strong hero in terms of wave clear and other stuff as well. So I really see this one coming in.
Yeah, so if we can get the contests all set up as well, guys, that'd be lovely. When the moderators in chat, if they could set up the contest, give the points for TSK winning map number 1. I'm going to set up the contest for this one as well. So here we go. We are going to see May and Maiev, Samu.
Maiev this time not being removed, and then another May coming in. I mean, May Maiev is a really good combo because May as the main tank is usually struggling with the engaging because it's not as reliable as other tanks. See the ETC first pick from the side of Semi-Croustillants. Very strong early pick as the tank, really reliable with the engages. But then you have the Maiev kind of assisting with being able to pull people into the Blizzard and other stuff.
Yeah, I agree. But this time around we see the Imperius and Malfurion. So Imperius being taken away from them. Obviously, you could also play May in the off lane. It's been played a couple of times. It's not the best of wave clear, but she can hold the lane essentially well. But yeah, so we'll have to find out if that's going to be main tank May or off lane May. Yeah, maybe it's main tank May. You might see it.
That is a cool joke from you. But anyways, betting is set up. Exclamation mark bet a thing. Team Super Kulaks has what it takes now with the Maiev and May early on to close out the series in a quick 2-0, or exclamation mark bet B if you think the Super Semi-Croustillants with this time denying the Imperials picking it up themselves will be enough to swing back this series into their favor and maybe let them the first win against Team Super Kulaks this season.
Yeah, so to play with Maiev, you want like kind of a magey assassin to pair with her. Obviously, when she gets a big cage off, you could end up with something like a Jaina, but they banned it out themselves. But it's going to be Hanzo, so it's going to be Dragon's Arrow into cage, and then a Sonya on top.
I really like the Sonya pick because Sonya is adding this additional damage you would usually miss with the AoE damage, which you usually would miss with the Hanzo. And the Maiev, because Hanzo and Maiev are really strong at locking down those targets in the cage with the Dragon's Arrow and getting some damage in with the Q and W from Hanzo, of course. Maiev with the Q resets is a lot of damage, but it's barely not enough to get the kills in. And when you have the Sonya jumping in either with Leap or going in with the Wrath of the Berserker and just spinning around like a freaking Beyblade, it would be enough damage to secure those kills. And on the other side of the Semi-Croustillants, we now see the 2 damage dealers being picked up, and we see the Kel'Thuzad, which is a very interesting pick, and also the Lunera.
Yeah, but we do get a white main, so the Kel'Thuzad could be the sort of X factor that they're missing here. Obviously, Kel'Thuzad's one of those heroes that can solo carry team fights, but it's very, I think, all or nothing, right? You never sort of go, oh, that Kel'Thuzad was okay. It's either the Kel'Thuzad pops off or doesn't get too much value from it.
And the thing I have a little bit of issues with the draft of set of Semi-Croustillants because like wave kill a little bit, at least until level 4 when Lunera goes for the minion and merc damage, which will help them out a lot. Kel'Thuzad might even have to go for Cubel to make sure they have enough wave clear to clear waves. We have on the other side, we just see Maiev and Mei being able to one-shot waves together. This is also one of the things why I personally really like Maiev a lot. The way that she is threat on the one side as an assassin, doing a lot of damage if you give her the opportunity to do so. Also, her macro pressure with Night's momentum, being able to easily do camps alone with Blade Dance on level 4. And her E, she's nearly one-shotting a wave already on her own. All those things add Maiev up into a very strong and scary character.
Yeah, obviously you have to hope that Maiev doesn't pick the banned talent. One talent on Maiev that is banned at the moment because the CDR does proc on minions as well, which is quite funny actually to watch it. But obviously we don't want that in our lounge match.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of broken in some way or form because you get double Tether in, and it's really scary. A Tether in, goes out, another Tether. Just having a double pull is really, really strong.
Yep. But we'll have to see if Semi-Croustillants can fight back in this one, Samu. Because they're 1-0 down, but they're not out of the series yet. You know, the reverse sweeps are still possible. We saw a couple of reverse sweeps yesterday, and these guys could pull it off as well.
The thing I like on the side of Semi-Croustillants, they have a very straightforward combo in terms of the rotation. They have ETC, Power Slide, Mafurin Root, Kel'Thuzad combo. Sonara poking the opponents down a little bit in the meantime, and if Imperius ever rotates into the form, he also has the Spear, which sets up Kel'Thuzad, Mafurin, and ETC stuff. Very strong, so they could easily look at those pickups. Also on Sonya, if the Kel'Thuzad also goes down towards the bottom from time to time, they can really threat those single targets with their CC chain and the amount of damage they have on those as a follow-up.
Yeah, but let's head into the game and introduce the teams.
Gonna start to the left side with Team Super Kulák trying to close out this series with a quick 2-0 recast, this time getting his Maiev, it's not getting banned. Werkman on the Mei, Triceracop on Hanzo, Shadow in the Sonya, and Tylandis on the white main.
Out on the right hand side, we have ETC played by Benny, Malfurion by Lachiquick, Kel'Thuzad by Halni, and Imperius by Zabi, and Lunara by Ifubon Umont. I assume it's a French sort of kind of team and French name.
It's unfair, yeah. Looking at one turn, we see Maiev going for the Bonds of Justice and not the banned one. Luckily, as we would have to remake the lobby. But yeah, looking at the other talent so far, we see the block from Sonya. Hanzo going for the simple geometry on level 1, not opting into Q for a little bit more weight here. Yeah, we see Maiev with the first engage. Nice root there from Mafurin, making her immediately very dangerous. Root from Kel'Thuzad as well. She's dropping very low, but White Maid able to heal her up, but dying herself in return. But now, ooh, big scatter arrow there from Hanzo coming in, getting the 1-for-1 trade in the end in this mid brawl.
Yeah, big scatter damage there from Hanzo, nailing the ETC. Nice engage there, and if you think, if Kel'Thuzad was stacked in that fight, Kel'Thuzad would have killed both those heroes, because it was a nice combo from him. So, late game, this Kel'Thuzad, obviously, you just want to get to the late game with it.
Yeah, and as I said, can be really scary, those combos, if you keep on going with this. Another route onto White main, root from Mafurin as follow-up as well. White main taking a lot of damage, but she is able to get out. As you said, the Kel'Thuzad is not sectored, so he misses those 75% spell power, which will make him a very scary hero. Especially after 10, when he gets his ultimate, one thing, most damage in his kit. It's going to be very scary for Team Super Kulaks.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's 1 kill apiece. XP is even. Rotations slightly favoring the blue team at the moment. Obviously, they do have wave clear with Mei as well as the tank helping out, and Sonya being able to out-rotate Imperius, able to help out her team as well there. So stun coming out from Mei onto the ETC. ETC sliding in aggressive though, Kel'Thuzad with the root, then Soppel being procced by Mei. I like the way ETC holding his knockback, by the way. A lot of ETCs just press QW automatically, but ETC is getting the slide in and holding back the knockback, so it's really good.
Yeah, one thing a lot of people also don't really know or keep track of is that ETC could use his W to interrupt the Mei slide, rising on her E, which would makes a really stale character and really takes away her movement tool. ability tool in any way or form. But yeah, Sony again now coming into the mid lane while Imperius is trying to clear the minion wave in the bottom lane. I mean, the help with the minion wave, her team is having the advantage there. Looking at level 4, we see onside of Mike, we don't see the blade dance, we see sudden vengeance. Going for the percentage damage in with the blink. You mean you usually want to E into your opponent. Get the Tether in and trying to do as much damage as possible.
Yeah, at the moment it's just camp v camp, brawl v brawl in the mid side. Maez goes in with the big boy tether though, into the Mei stun here. Hanzo's Jasper just trying to get the flank with that scatter arrow build. Can't quite manage it there. And there you saw the Hanzo slight bug, by the way. I don't know if you know this, but if you scatter on like the corner of the wall, it goes through the gate sometimes.
Yeah, it's sometimes quite funny when you see it.
Yeah, like there he didn't want it to, right? He wanted to bounce back, but meanwhile at the top lane we see ETC with a slide again and setting up these Maiev combos. Already at 13 stacks on the Kel'Thuzad, sorry, Kel'Thuzad, not Maiev.
We see now a blizzard coming from Mei, and a lot of damage on the ETC, he's dropping very low, 200 HP on him. 5 going in with the Q, gets the reset on the first one and kills the kill with the second one onto the ETC. Will be able to get another one in. She has a W active though. She has to fall back now. Being poked on quite a bit from the red team.
Yeah, the Sonya just able to out-rotate the Imperius lane. You can see the advantage of being able to out-rotate your opponent. A lot of people say, you know, offlane doesn't matter so much anymore, but, you know, you can still clear the wave and just have that rotation advantage and force a 5v4 on the map.
It really depends on your soul lane. It's one of the reasons why I personally don't like Imperius that lot. Because he's just very weak in those rotation game, because he has just no wave clear, so you cannot really leave the wave early on to help his team in any sort of fight. That's one of the strengths of Urel, Blaze or Lyrics. Just insta clear wave and join their team. Which is very strong. Yeah.
Yep, obviously Imperius is a very strong hero, but the thing he lacks most is the thing you can punish him for, which is his lack of wave clear. But level 7, the Flash of Anger is in. Obviously later in team fights, when you land that Q, it's going to hurt. But Maiev goes in for the tether though. Mei goes to go in for the stun, does pop her self trait there, unstoppable. But brilliantly timed by the Kel'Thuzad here, just to get the damage out, and the cleanse from Whitemane, able to make sure he's able to walk out.
Would have not been too
Flip now onto the bot side. Maiev with the tether again. Mei just trying to get that stun knocked back into the stun, but not quite there yet. Hanzo almost completed his simple geometry quest.
Mei and Maiev currently working very well together with the Blizzard, Icing and Heather from Maiev. If they perfect it a little bit more, then it's going to be really scary in those team fights.
Yeah, there you can see how oppressive Mei feels as well. Goes in, takes a lot of damage, and just presses D, and is able to get the unstoppable and heal up as well.
He also went for the level 4 talent, the Crystallizer. She gets 50 spell armor while she is in her icing. And for 1 second afterwards, so Lunara and Kel'Thuzad don't deal too much damage against her while she's using it. Which gives her also a lot of tankiness for the team fights.
Yeah, so mid lane, 2 kills to 1, level 9v9, but 10s are going to be in sooner for Team TSK. Imperius actually goes unnoticed there and does get the pay in.
In the meantime, we have Sonya pushing in the bottom, and especially with the siege it's going to be dangerous if no one responds to it. You don't really want to put Imperius onto it because it just takes ages. Without the level 1W or the level 7 active, he's not really able to clear a wave in any way or form. So Bruiser can, siege even clears him.
Yeah, and hard camp being taken now. Maiev going over with Whitemane, just able to help out the camp. Obviously the red team don't want to kill it, but we do see a stun, a spear going on onto Mei here. Mei does pop the unstoppable here, but Dragon's Arrow, big Dragon's Arrow, 4-man Dragon Arrow, able to peel for Workman on that Mei. Asa feels bad, right? You land all your CC onto Mei, but it just doesn't die. Big leap though into the back line onto the Lunara, and there's the wall. The cage coming out as well. The knockback's coming in, but Lunara able to jump out. The mosh pit though from Benny landing onto 2 as 10's come in for the red team as well. So much is going on in these fights, but it's actually Malfurion that goes down first. Benny falling extremely low as well, comes up with the combo, not able to hit anybody. I may only lose 1 member there on Malfurion. Lunara being able to live there was so clutch with the leaping strike over the Maiev.
It was a very good engage. It started wait, we have another power slide into KTC combos onto the Mei. She's able to pop her trade, and you see Lunara are going down in the meantime.
Oh, that's a lot of gems on the deck as well. I mean, Imperius, they're not finished yet, the blue team. Imperius tries to queue over the wall, but it's not quite there. The stun from Kaltazad though, but it doesn't do anything. And the blue team are still able to secure the kill onto Imperius. Blue team are just running away with this now. Staggered deaths on the side of Semi-Croustillants.
The red team really not being hesitant enough, waiting for the Morphoron to respawn and heal this team up. That going in 4v5 and getting punished for it. In the meantime, they already see Sonya in the top lane, starting the boss, making sure her team is and then can still do the boss. They're going for it, but the red team, they know it, and they're coming in now.
Yeah, no mosh pit available for 40 seconds though, but the Kaltazad combo coming out here. Maiev goes down. Meanwhile, Lunara jumping over the Sonya here. Mega's in big Twilight Dream though, and Hanzo gets taken down. Next looks like it's going to be Sonya that gets taken down. No, Sonya gets healed up by the white lane. But meanwhile, Benny did the right thing here as the tank keeps the boss aggroed here. But Malfurion doesn't have the best PvE damage. Workman comes in onto that Mei. Does get slid though, and the Kaltazad comboed and gets taken down. 3 kills to nothing in that team fight. 3 kills to 1, sorry, but meanwhile ETC goes back. Shadow's not finished yet. He goes in. There's no Wrath of the Berserker, so you just need to be careful. Kaltazad gets the combo off here. Imperius is going to have Spear off, and Shadow gets taken down.
Yeah, Harley Girl finishing
Sonya.
his quest with this last, with the chain onto Sonya. Making sure he's getting 75 spell power and able to blow up the Sonya there.
Yeah, but meanwhile, the web weavers were spawning, so it does take the fort in the mid and fort in the top with that push. So the red team are a little bit behind now in structures.
Oh, see the push coming in. The top lane, we saw the wall being taken down by the boss. One tower still standing with 500 HP, but it's not too much. But yeah, there's a camp now on the way from Semi-Croustillants. Shadow. Last shout out in the meantime in the chat, who is the Shadow on the Sonya? Why is he so sexy? Because fun fact, Shadow Rider also playing solo lane main and playing a lot of Sonya. Might coming in now, Arrow coming in. Well, he misses there. It was very close to be pulled in by the Maiev into the Arrow.
Yeah, Arrow just coming in close to hit. If that had hit, it would have been a big boy arrow from downtown onto that. So level 14v14 is in. Obviously, whilst the lanes were pushing in, the experience that it netted for the team here, it's pretty good. Now, 16s will be in at roughly the same time, so no real advantage for either team yet. But 16 power spike for the blue team is going to be big with that Hanzo Pierce. Obviously, when you go scatter build and you get Pierce to 16, you are going to get a lot by out though. Needs to be careful here. Jumps in. Lunara jumping in, double over him. Kaltazad with the combo though, the slide from ETC, and he gets taken down. The Warden's Cage not enough to peel him. With that white mane damage on top of it though, white mane is going to get a lot of healing off. Hanzo jumps to safety there over the wall. Now we are going to get a pay in for the red team. Benny just making sure that they weren't going to sneakily take the hard camp either. So the question is, Samu, how much value can they get now with these web weavers?
I mean, they have to get a lot. Already doing good thing and pushing out down waves, so the web weavers are spawning more forward, closer towards their opponent's forts. But you really have to get a lot of value out of it. Currently a little bit ahead in terms of experience. I think it's gonna propel up a little bit more as soon as it takes down some walls with those up weavers, but I'm not sure how much it's going to be. But in the meantime, getting caught out that Mei, it isn't the chain from Mei onto Whiteman, securing this kill, making it 2 as the Mosh Pit's coming out to secure the kill onto the Mei. As a very good one.
Different game on our hands compared to game number 1. I have completed the tether quest though at level 1, so after applying 10 tethers will increase the bind cleave damage by 30%. But ETC slides in the root follow up from Malfurion there, brilliant, and Hanzo gets taken down. The red team are running away with this now, it seems. They're able to get a lot of push down. They secure the fort in the top lane. Maiev obviously opting to clear it. Bot lane was cleared out by Sonya, so it's only mid that they're able to get value from.
Skills, especially the last one on turn, so staggering left a little bit, is very good for the Semi-Croustillants. It might even give them a very good comeback into this series, or at least into this game. In the meantime, a little update from Launch Them 2. Hands up when the series 2-0 apparently. Good job, Nova.
Yeah. It's a very close game in game number 2. Squeaky pulled off his Diva main tank as usual, so make sure to check out to watch the VOD. It looked like Owls were dominating the early game, and then I think something happened, obviously, and Squeaky won somehow. But
Yeah,
congratulations to them.
Talking about winning, we have Semi-Croustillants now even getting in another turn in, starting to push in the bottom, trying to take them the last tier 1 structure of their opponents with the fort in the bottom lane.
Yeah, they're making sure they take down this fort to even up the structures here with 3 forts apiece. But they want to fight now. 8 kills to 9, level 17 v 16. Obviously, there's the piercing from Hanzo that we mentioned. But equally so, don't not to forget the unfair advantage from Lunara, which, you know, to rooted targets, which has so many roots, and stunned or slowed. So many slows, so many stuns on the side of the red team. So Lunara's damage will be able to proc here. Spear going in, Benny just with a knockback here. Imperious chain not coming out. But the big cage with the ice wall and the Imperious, oh my god. The blue team absolutely destroying the red team here, and it looks like it's going to be a 5-man team wipe. Obviously, Katazad did respawn to come back, but it's all in vain. What a brilliant Warden's Cage into Dragon's Arrow, into Ice Wall there. Fantastic play.
My finding engage and showing the reason why this here is banned when you have a good player on it. Yeah, this is exactly what I said. I feel like the blue team, the Team Super Kulaks, is really strong in those team fights. Because they have such a strong team fight combo. On the other side, Semi-Croustillants is really able to get those pickoffs before that.
Yeah, and with the kills, with those kills and the deaths on the side of Semi-Croustillants, we are going for the boss. And this boss is going to be obviously uncontested. No pay-in yet, but they are only 5 gems short. So 2 waves and they'll be able to pay.
Taking down the top wave in the mid lane, there are also 3 more gems. 1 gem is missing, so they should be able to get a gem in and turn in. Benny on the ETC already looking and trying to deny this turn, but he has to be very careful not to punish for it. Get killed, even there's the wall, only the kills not in the backline. Life dropping very low, but he's getting out. Yes, she does. Mosh pit coming out in the meantime. Arrow misses again. Paris barely misses the scooter on to the white lane boss, pushing in the top lane in the meantime.
Yeah, the red team were desperately trying to get their engage there, but just weren't willing to give it. The Maiev perfectly with the Vault of Wardens and the cleanse from Whiteman coming out to make sure that Maiev did not get pulled back by the Kel'Thuzad chain.
Boss in the top lane in the meantime, about to be defended by the red team. Took on the front wall and the fountain up there. Yeah, blue team now managed to turn in. No, barely did it not. Very, very close there.
Yeah, interrupt coming out from the Kel'Thuzad. They really want to secure this pay, and 20 v 19 is in. If the red team gives them this fight, though, it could be disastrous. Hanzo arrows can be back in 10 seconds. Leap is available as well, should they wish to pull the trigger. Leap goes in, onto the Malfurion here. Malfurion does have the Twilight Dream available, but not able to press it. Maiev goes in as well, but the Kel'Thuzad combo meanwhile, but Maiev does fall down. White with the ultimate, trying to heal them up here. ETC with the peel for his team. Ice Wall coming out, but only landing on to the Imperious here. Maiev goes over the sun, but meanwhile Kel'Thuzad falls in the top side from the Hanzo. And it's going to be Imperious next. Dragon's Arrow again. Coming in from NA there.
Another 3 kills in favor for the Team Super Kulaks.
TSK popping off, and it looks like they want more here. As Benny sliding in, desperately trying to peel, but it looks like he might be taken down now. Does have death metal, I assume, with the way he's going in, and yet there's a death mosh, but he's not able to do much with it. Lunara actually going for the double. What?
Going in, delaying a little bit, making sure that Malfurion, Imperious, and Kozal have a little bit more time to respawn, but looks like the blue team with those 2 kills are going to take them at least this keep. Might even
it's going to be game. It's going to be game.
Yeah, the way they stand around here, this is looking to be game.
Yeah, is this clownable is the question, but with Kel'Thuzad down for the 5 seconds, we need a big boy KTZ combo here to carry this fight. But the web was already on the core. The core is falling. It's down to 20%. It's down to 10%. TSK take the series 2-0.
Especially the siege cam and the catapults coming in. There. Oh.
It It looks so good for Semi-Croustillants there. But welcome everybody on Heroes Lounge 2, joining in with just at the end there. Congratulations to Hands Up, commiserations to Owl Exterminators, who unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on which team you support, did lose to Hands Up in a 2-0 series. But guys, on this channel, we just watched TSK take the victory 2-0. So far, all the teams to win have taken the series 2-0, Samu.
Yeah, when we take a look at the bracket, updated, we see Johnson's Bad Buddies 1-2-0 against Jane at their first match, Enco with the 2-0 against the Dutchman. Team Super Kulák taking the win just now against Semi-Croustillants. And the Owl Exterminators going down 0-2 towards Hands Up. So we're gonna have our two semifinals between Johnson's Bad Buddies and Encore. And that one is going to be Hands Up against Team Super Kulaks, which we just saw. So it's going to be a very, very interesting rest of the day.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It will be on this channel, but it won't be with myself. It'll be Samu continuing on, and I believe it's going to be Shadow Writer joining you, correct?
What of those last 4 teams remaining, which are your favorites in those?
I can't have a favorite, unfortunately. It's not possible for me because I like JSBB, I liked Owls, and I liked Hands Up. So Owls being out narrows it down to Hands Up and Johnny Sins. So my dream final is Hands Up against Johnny Sins, and then the winner of that, I will actually be happy and also sad at the same time. So yeah, I just can't separate those two teams. They're both all 5 of them are my friends on both sides. So yeah, I just can't. How about you though, Samu? What's your favorite?
I mean, it's a really rough time. I know people from Johnson's Bad Buddies and Hands Up as well a lot. But I also noted people from Encore as I was part of the team for a few weeks. So I really think those 3 teams are the ones to look out for. But you're not allowed to underestimate Team Super Kulak. We just saw the Maya engages and the teamwork they showed.
I agree.
So it's a really hard thing to determine a favorite. But I personally feel like if Hands Up gets the drafts they want, they might go ahead of Team Super Kulaks. But then even though in this, I feel like Encore and Johnson's, but they're so even in pace, it's going to be as close as this game. But yeah. Thank you for joining me for now. We are going to head over into a short break, and then we will be right back with the first semi-final of today.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Shout out and good luck to everybody still competing in this. Have a good day.
Bye.